Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dynasty Racing League's DRL TV. Tonight I am your host, David Wellborn, and we are going to be here at Texas Motor Speedway for 200 laps. It should be an awesome race here tonight. Looking forward to this race. I am flying again solo. Need to find a co-broadcaster as soon as possible. We are going to be here, like I said, for 200 laps. Our next race in this series is going to be a short track. It's going to be the Bristol Speedway. It will be for 250 laps. Talking about some beating and banging going on then. Just can't wait for that race. Our next series race broadcast is actually going to be at Rockingham. It's not going to be at Texas. We're going to be at the trucks tomorrow night at Rockingham for 125 laps. Should be a very, very nice race going on there as well. We are waiting for my pick to hit the track tonight. Just to go ahead and put that out there. I'm going to say Clay Phillips is probably going to end up winning this race. I'd like to see him win the race. I was just taking a look at the point standings. And believe it or not, Mr. Phillips, who won the series last season, isn't even in the top 20. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, if it's due to the bad races or maybe he's missed a couple of races. Not really sure, but I'd like to see him to at least make it into the playoffs again and have a shot at this. We're still very early into the season, so maybe he'll do it, as Hesgard is now currently sitting on the pole. He was pretty fast here in practice. That time may actually hold up. So let's see what Mr. Phillips is planning on doing. Now these two gentlemen were pretty tight in racing speeds as far as practice is concerned. Phillips got a little loose there coming off. Not too bad. Right where he needs to be. Keep Mr. Hesgard in sight. Maybe he'll walk away with this race. Mr. Butner is currently fourth. Let's see who is getting ready to put down some qualifying time. Looks like P.J. O'Leary is electing to start in the back. Or hit the wall or something. Is coming back down pit road. Sam Niederham trying to get him a good lap in. Let's see if we can't turn iRacing up just a little bit. And Mr. Needleham is going to end up in 25th as of right now. I see 30 drivers that have actually qualified, with 31 showing in this race. And so Randy Baker is the last car to qualify. And he is on the track right now. And this should be the end of the qualifying right here with Mr. Baker crossing the start-finish line. So, Mr. Baker, that's not going to work. I don't believe you got enough time to actually get a lap in. Go ahead and try. As he is going to attempt to try to make at least one lap around this track. It's not going to be a very good time, so he's probably going to end up starting dead last anyway. Now we had a rule change here, or a new rule has been implemented, or an old rule is now strictly being enforced, either way you want to look at it. You don't want to be the driver who causes a wreck within the first 5 laps. That's going to cost you a 30-second penalty. You will be black flagged for that. And qualifying is over. Mr. Baker did not get a chance to put down a lap. I'm not even sure if he stayed in the server, as it looked like he may have actually been disqualified. No, he's there. So, cool. Jump up front. So our pole sitter is Ryan Hesgard, along with Clay Phillips on the outside. Let's try to get this grid in. Hesgard is on the pole. Clay Phillips is second. Chris Lucky's third. Getty Buckner is fourth. James Arillo fifth. Ben Izinga sixth. Mike Lemon seventh. Kenneth Robbins is eighth. Bill Edwards ninth. Cy Darius Jackson made it into the top 10. Gary Cornwett and Andrew Marsh. Christopher Stouffer, Matt Lovett, David Lindell, Spencer Tart, P.J. O'Leary, Brett Kingcott, Zachary Smith, James Pandolf, Cody Gatsky, Dustin Jones, Paul Barbuza, Rod Fossenau, Sam Niederham, and Kyle Bingham. That's the top 26 as we reset the grid. Martin Wenzel's 27th, Nathan Pollard 28th, Jordan Larson 29th, Buddy Chamberlain is 30th, and Randy Baker is going to round out our field as we get set to go green flag racing. Not going to do a poll interview with Mr. Hesgard, as pretty sure Mr. Hesgard's going to finish in the top 3 here tonight. So if you don't, we still may interview him. Either way, we got a car that is completely solid white out there. He needs to get him a sponsor. Maybe DRL TV can do something about that. That's Chris Lucky. Chris Lucky needs to have a sponsorship on his car. Anybody out there want to sponsor his car, let him know. Pace car is in. Hesgard is down and away. He got a really good jump. Man, he took off. Now our control spot here tonight is going to be coming off of turn 4. People are going to try to get all they can get coming out of this turn right there. And when they come down across the start finish line, they're going to make sure that them wheels are straight, because when you come off of turn 4, you may end up hitting that outside wall. And that is not what you want to do. And Lucky and Phillips is still side by side. Lucky finally making him a hole right there in front of Izinga. Izinga not going to take too much of that. Going to force him up the track. Taking a look on the inside. Lucky cuts his nose again. Wow, Hesgard is checking out. Everybody seems to be trying to get single file. Jump back here in the back. And everybody is trying to single file. And now that they have gotten single file, they got a shot at trying to run down Hesgard. As Hesgard is actually coming up on a lapper now. Wow, that did not take long. I said he was. Now that's a good shot right there. Hesgard leading this race. But let's see what it looks like from Mr. Buckner's view. He got a long way to go to get to him, that's for sure. Looks like Larillo is losing some patience as he is trying to make a move around Mr. Lucky. And he's going to bring Edwards with him. And Buckner is going to make a move up underneath Lucky. Lucky is probably doing exactly what he needs to do. Letting these guys run away with it. Saving his car. How did Mr. Lucky go a lap down? I'm looking and I don't see it. It says he's in 8th. Hesgard has got almost a full lead, a full second lead over Phillips. And that lead is gaining. So with any luck, Hesgard is going to try to dominate here tonight. As we look battle right here between Larillo and Edwards. Edwards is taking a look on the inside of Mr. Larillo. And he does clear him. Mr. Lindell taking a look at that fastest chicken, Kenneth Robbins. And it looks like Mr. Robbins is going to let him go. Can't win a race on its first lap. Can't win it in the first 5 either. Looks like we got Barbuza taking a look underneath Arsenal. Was not able to make the move though. We have got officially Nathan Pollard and Randy Baker are officially out of the race. Got a lot of connection issues with Mr. Larson. And somehow or another, Hesgard is losing his connection as well. And these 4 cars right here, oh, 91 just got into the wall right there. That's Brent Kingcock. We got somebody off track. think that's the 70. Of Andrew Marsh. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Hesgard has definitely got some connection issues, as the timer reflects that. He'll blink out and it will say Phillips is the leader of the race, as Ben Izinga is trying to make his move around him right now. And he does make that move and work for him. Now, last night we had a really big wreck last night. I think it was in the first 5 laps of the race. The only yellow that came out, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, there it is. That'll do it, coming off of turn 4. And last night's wreck during the race took out half the field. Almost 10 cars was involved in that wreck, because it was so early into the race. All the cars were still bunched up. Nobody really had any place to go. My man Phillips has got a lot of damage to the front of his hood of his car. His shot at winning this race is probably going to be over with that amount of damage that he has to the front end of his car. That's definitely a 4X if I ever saw one. But that moves Getty Buckner up into the 2nd position. We got James Arillo and Bill Edwards still doing battle back here behind them. And this is for the top 4th and 5th position. Taking a look at Mr. Tart. He is doing battle with Chris Lucky. I want my Pop-Tarts back on the car, Mr. Tart. Ben Izinga not doing too bad here tonight. Or wasn't until that wreck. Rod Farsenal and Martin Wenzel are going to be doing the battle here for the 20th position. They are just riding. They know what they got to do. No sense in being in too big of a hurry. Long race yet. That looks like Arillo and Williams has gained on Mr. Phillips as they're getting ready to pass him and take over the 3rd position away from him. Now, about 35 laps, 35 to 45 laps, we're going to start seeing people come down pit road. I would imagine anyway. Tires is going to be your friend here. You can short pit, and if you short pit early enough, you can actually make up a lot of time to the gentleman that can stay out. Wow, he just made him a hole. Edwards just shoved that thing right up in front of Phillips, slid up the track as the sun comes out. We are here at 71 degrees air temperature with a track temperature of 83. So these gentlemen got a lot of grip out there. And I imagine they're just going to get more and more as the race progresses, as that temperature is going to continue to drop. Getty Buckner is not making any ground up on Hesgard. In fact, the whole field is not even making time up on Hesgard, as he continues to pull away and run away with this race. Clean, smooth sailing. That is what you want to see when you are leading a race. all by yourself. Just keep hitting your marks and hold that pedal wide open. Jump back here with Matt Lovett, Chris Stouffer. Spencer Tart's in this mix as well. Phillips, even with all that damage that he has on the front end, is still trying to hang on to that top 5 position, as Mr. Cornwett is going to try to take that away from him. You got to stay off that apron, Mr. Cornwett, if you want to try to pass somebody. You're going to get your car loose and you're going to end up taking both of you out. That apron here is not your friend. Not at Texas, Charlotte, or Atlanta. Stay away from the apron, my man. James Pandolf, who started in the 20 position, has gained 5. Car looks fairly good as he rides along in the 15th position. Our graphics artist is right here in the middle of everything, and he is still doing battle for that 20th position. You got to go racing when you're in the back. Looks like Martin Wenzel's got a little bit of right front damage already. So does Fossenall. So those two gentlemen look like they have made contact with the outside wall at some point. Fossenall a little bit harder than Wenzel, but at any point they have still made contact. As we coming up on lap 30, this is where I expect to see. Now my timing screen is showing, wow, it showed Getty Buckner as the leader, but I know that's not right, as Hesgaard is the leader. Hesgaard should be coming up on traffic anytime now. And we do see a car in sight. So about 35 laps into this run, he will actually start working his way through traffic. And that's about when people are going to want to start coming down pit road. As we'll stick with Mr. Hesgaard for a few as he's getting prepared to start making his way around some traffic. With a 3.6 second lead, he can really afford to take his time to get around these slower drivers. And we do have a taker. Kenneth Robbins coming down pit road. And Hesgaard gets around the 91. That's Mr. Kingcock, who is 3 laps down. With any luck here tonight, knock on wood, we may actually go yellow flag free. that would be a big change from last week's race, that's for sure. Looks like Barboza or Randy Baker. I think that's Randy Baker getting ready to go another lap down, or getting ready to go a lap down. Robbins in pit road for 45 seconds. He must have taken care of a lot of damage, as Mr. Baker is getting ready to go a lap down. Watching Hesgard as he's trying to gingerly get ready to pass Randy Baker, who apparently has already made contact with the outside wall himself. Hesgard makes it around cleanly. .3 second lead over Buckner here tonight. As well, we got somebody who decided he didn't like the racetrack and wanted to go through the grass. I believe that was an S2R driver, maybe Edwards. No, it wasn't Edwards. I'm really not sure who that was, but pit stops are starting. Who is that racing on the bottom of the track like that? Whoever it is trying to make his way down pit road. Brent Kingcock. Wow, Larillo has made it around Buckner. Let's say about another 7 laps and we should be seeing some green flag pit stops from our leaders. As Robbins is now back down pit road. And this is a battle right here with Matt Lovett, Chris Stouffer, Mike Lemon, and Clay Phillips. Still in the top 10, Mr. Phillips is, as they are trying to get around the lap car of PJ O'Leary. Wow, PJ not having the night he wanted after last week. He had a really good race last week, and now he's going to finish this race most likely a lap down. Kenneth Robbins is on pit road for an extended amount of time, as he is trying to get some of that damage fixed. And that's about how long it took for second place to even catch Mr. Baker. Almost a difference of 10 laps there between the time that Hesgard passed Mr. Baker to lap him than for second place to actually catching. Hesgard is just absolutely running away with this race with almost a full 6-second lead over the field. I think we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. As pit stops are starting, Mr. Izinga, Tart, Zachary Smith, all come down pit road. His guard deciding to stay out as long as possible. Wow, that is never a good sign to come around the corner and start seeing a car that's not there putting down smoke. That can really mess with your head. Seeing smoke, don't see a car, and then all of a sudden he pops in front of you. Yeah, that's never a good sign. Now these drivers that are staying out are going to continue to lose time to the drivers that have already come down pit road. But I guess if you got a 4.5 second lead over everybody, pretty much stay out as long as you want. Now, how is Barboza? Yeah, see, that's... ATVO is really doing a job with our ticker here tonight. Hesgard is still working lap traffic. James Pendolph down pit road, 16.4 seconds. I wonder just exactly how long Hesgard is going to stay out there. I mean, some drivers have already got 10 laps on their tires versus the 51 that he has. Mr. Phillips has been down pit road. He's got 6 laps on his tires, so not sure if he actually got any of that damage fixed. Getty, Buckner, Edwards, Cornwett, Gatsky, all down pit road. Lindahl, Farsenal. So green flag stops are now working for our leaders. I'm sure that Hesgaard's going to stay out as long as possible. Here comes Superman on them fresh tires, Hesgaard. Watch out. Something you got to be mindful of when you're a leader. Green flag stops have already started. You're out there on old tires. These guys come out with fresh tires, feel like Superman. Getting back on the lead lap as they come back around you. 11-second lead over Chris Lucky, who is not pitted yet. Still waiting to try to get him a lap led. He's hoping Hesgaard to come in sometime soon, I'm sure. And it looks like Hesgaard is now coming down pit road. So that will give the lead back over to, or it will temporarily give it to Mr. Lucky. 11 seconds later, he should be coming across the start-finish line. And he's going to get credit for leading that lap. We still have 9 cars out there that have yet to pit. Chris Lucky, Matt Lovett, Kyle Bingham, Martin Wenzel, Buddy Chamberlain, Sam Niederham, Nathan Pollard, Dustin Jones all need to come down pit road. I'm sure they're hoping for a yellow. I personally don't want to see one. We're going to have to get this boy a sponsor. He can't be leading these races in the Grand National Series here. Even though he's not doing it for points, that car is solid white. Need to get something on it. Throw some paint somewhere, something. Blends in with the track. I can't see him for the sun. Ben Isinger trying to get around him. Gets back on the lead lap. Still have 7 drivers that have not come down pit road. How long do you run? And don't think, can they run 70 laps? 65 would probably be the magic number. If they can go 70, they can do it on one stop, but the drivers that are making a 2-stop race out of this will probably have the advantage. I don't know if I'd try to make it on a one-stop run. I probably would have come in on lap 40 and broke it down into at least 2. Three drivers still yet to pit. That's Sam Niederham, Buddy Chamberlain, and Chris Lucky. Hesgaard is still our leader. He has roughly I'm looking. About 1.1 seconds over top of James Larillo. after that pit stop, but or at least that's what ATVO is saying. So Hesgard is coming up into a bunch of traffic after his pit stop. Doesn't need to work it too fast here. As pit stops have actually cycled through. All but Mr. Lucky and Niederham. Oh, wow. What are you going to do there? This is crazy, him trying to get through this traffic. Got Darius to go, Mr. Hesgard, and then you should have some clean racing. Or at least some breathing room temporarily. Looks like Lucky and Niederham are thinking about this one-stop run. You know, that may actually work out for them. If they can make it to lap 65 or 66. And if Lucky can maintain that after his pit stop, because Hesgard will probably have to come back down. May work out for Mr. Lucky. That is some thinking right there. We'll have to see how everything plays out as we are getting ready to come up on the magic number. Niederham is down pit road. Chris Lucky decided to stay out one extra lap to guarantee that he's got enough fuel and tires to make it. Should be coming down pit road this time by. He says, nope, I am going to stay out till I have no fuel left. Hesgard is definitely running him down. Lucky may go 2 laps down before he gets a chance to pit. And I don't think that's something you're going to be able to make up. And he's finally going to give up and come down pit road. As he goes a lap down there, and he will definitely go down another lap by the time he gets off the pit road. So he'll get one of them back. And hopefully he can make up enough time on these drivers to clear Hesgard again once Hesgard comes down pit road. And there's lap number 2 for Mr. Lucky. Or lap 1. Yeah, that's right, lap 1. Because he didn't actually... He should be 2 laps down. Because Hesgard caught him and put him a lap down. No, Hesgard passed him and got back on the lead lap. That's what it was. Duh. So it still may work out for Mr. Lucky with this one stop thinking. Spencer Tarp back down pit road. everybody's pretty much been clean. 10 drivers still on the lead lap. James Pandolf being that last car on a lead lap. As we watch Hesgard continue to try to make his way through some of this traffic as he's getting ready to run up on Pandolf and put him a lap down. Hesgard not taking any chances with that outside turn wall on 4. Keeps it almost a full half a car length away from that fence. Wow. Sidarius Jackson flirting with disaster right there as he almost makes contact coming off. Let's turn this thing up. And there goes Mr. Lucky. Feeling like Superman with them 4 fresh Goodyears. And he is getting ready to drive his way back around Hesgard.
The yellow flag is out.
Oh no. He did not get around Hesgard. And he's going to have to stay out. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, if you come down pit road, who was that? I didn't get to see who it was. Let me, Hey JP, who brought out that yellow, do you know?
Yes, it was the 30 car at the start-finish line.
All right, thank you. Well, how come I don't have... We'll go back up into the broadcast booth. So it was the 30 car, he said. And let's see. Kyle Bingham is the 30 car. Let's see what happens to Mr. Bingham. He's with Izinga, who's got a lot of damage to the back end of his car. Oh, wow. Almost net code there. It's like he got sucked in. Let's take a look at that again. It's not going to let me. Wow. That was just crazy. It's like he hit the wall and then all of a sudden, car come almost to a stop, really, and Izinga had really no place to go. A lot of cars electing to stay out. Mr. Lucky was not one of them. Well, it's showing him on the lead lap. Tail end of the field is what's happening, it looks to me. We'll let everything work itself out, and then we'll figure out what's going on. We are double file restart. I believe that's what we are. We are. So Lucky must have got his waiver rounds and stayed out. And why I can't get on his guard, I don't know.
Green flag, green flag.
Well, this changes the whole ball game. His guard jumps again, get him a real good start. Butner having to deal with Larillo. Mess of cars back here in the back. Side there is Jackson all over the back door, Mr. Izinga. He was literally pushing him down the track. Lucky trying to make his way back up through the field. He got the EOL for getting his lap back, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's got to make his way all the way through all these lap cars just to try to get up here to Bill Edwards to contend with this top 10 finish. Larson down pit road for some reason. Sitting here watching S2R and SGK Racing going at it. Getty Butner and James Larillo. Looks like Hesgard is definitely going to be running away with this race. And if I'm not mistaken, as far as the point standings are concerned, I think Getty Butner is only leading by 3 points. Yeah, he's only got 3 points over Hesgard. So that's probably going to change here tonight, as Hesgard is led the most laps. Locked in for that, led a lap, has no damage, so yeah. Wow, not again. Oh, I almost found it. What is going on? Right along, Mr. Barboza. We try to look and see where this yellow flag is at. It's either the 00 or it's going to be the 9 car here, Mr. Baker. Looks like Mr. Baker gets turned a little bit by Bill Edwards. Oh, that's a 5. That's Buddy Chamberlain. Buddy Chamberlain is going to be made contact by Bill Edwards. Edwards just shoots it right on in there. Didn't mean to get into him. 20 finishes off the job there. So, and he just keeps getting hit. Wow. Zachary Smith drives it on in there and finishes off the wreck for him. He had it under control until Zachary Smith decided he wants to add a little insult to injury. A lot of cars electing to try to get their lap back, looks like. A lot of clappers are coming down pit road as well. The Buckner, Larillo are going to have another shot at Hesgard. when everything is all said and done. That's a lot of cars getting back on the lead lap. I see at least 7 cars that is trying to get back on the lead lap. Looks like Hesgard is going to elect to take the outside this time on the restart. Probably not a bad call considering that nobody come down pit road. Or everybody come down pit road. Fresh tires. Gonna get a shot at it. Alright, Lorillo. You and Butner work together. Hold Hesgard up. Yeah, Buckner needs 5 bonus points. He needs to lead a lap. Hit the brakes, Hesgard. Pace car is getting ready to duck in. Green flag is out.
Green flag.
Hesgard got a really good start. Christopher just trying to hang into the top 5.
The yellow flag.
And we got another yellow flag. PJ O'Leary, maybe? He doesn't come into view. Oh no, I see Clay Phillips is involved in that. So let's see if I can find Phillips in this tree. Alright, we're riding along with Mr. Phillips. I think we're coming up on the yellow. Or not. Well, that's too far. There it is. Contact. Tried to find a hole that wasn't there. Don't know how you were going to clarify that as who's at fault on that one. ATVO is refusing to let me see the replay again, so .37 laps left in this race. As this thing is starting to come to an end, We're working caution number 3 for 10 laps here tonight, which is not too bad considering this track had a very long green flag run, including green flag pit stops, which is something I always enjoy. Want to see them green flag pit stops. That puts some strategy into play into these races. Restart this race. We should be restarting with about 34 laps to go. And Mr. Lucky has made his way up into the top 10 on the lead lap and has a very nice clean car. He may actually stand a shot at least coming in with a top 5 here tonight if he can work around a few of these drivers. I think Hesgard is probably going to elect to take the high side again. That seemed to work out well for him last time. And he has elected to do so, as we are double file now, and we have one more lap to go before we get this thing started. So roughly 34, 35 laps left of this race. Not too bad of a race. I like it here for the Texas 200. It has been a Hesgard show, but all in all, still not a bad race. Ben Izinga's still up there. I believe he is somewhere in the 12th position or so.
Green flag.
Hesgard got a really nice start. Izinga is in 12th. Buckner not letting him run away completely. It's time to go fast or go home now, gentlemen. 34 laps to go. Got to get what you can get. Mr. Lucky, he says, I'm going, as he's trying to make his way around David Lindahl. The mail must go through, but so shall I, he says. Wow, all that damage on Izinga's car, and they are going to make it 3 wide. The 00 with Izinga and Lucky. Who is the 00? Well, that didn't work out for the 00 of Nathan Pollard. But it did work out for Izinga, though. Moved himself up into 9th place. Watch out. Edwards is coming through. That's a little bump. Hey, I'm here. Get out of my way. Wow, Lucky is really struggling to stay even into the top 10. Sidarius Jackson is getting ready to take a look on the inside of him as well. Tight racing back here between James Lorillo, Christopher Lemon, Matt Lovett. As 14 Lovett is going up underneath Lemon right now. Cornwet, not too bad of a night here tonight. Got a solid top 10 finish going on in 7th. Getty Butner not allowing Hesgard to pull away as much as he did the last time. Still needs that lap led though. If Hesgard has anything to say about it, it won't be the last one. Hesgard is definitely not pulling away as fast as he was early on. Lorillo and Hesgard still trying to maintain within a full second up underneath him. These laps are coming to a quickly close. Lucky is sitting right there on the outside of the top 10. He got Side Darius Jackson still breathing down his neck. Lindahl and Lemon making their marks here tonight as they continue to do battle. Christopher and Cornwet are doing the battle, but ATVO doesn't want to let me see it.
The yellow flag is out.
Well, that's how much of a delay I have. And I have no idea where that yellow's at. I'm not sure if it's Sam Niederhelm. Wow. Let's see if we can't get this in. Let's go live. Pause. I'm getting. We're not getting the replay in. We might get it in. I don't know. ATVL is doing whatever it wants to do right now. I got to wait for it to catch up. So if we get it in, we get it in. If we don't, that's going to be totally up to ATVO. All right, here it is. Now he's up underneath the 27. Clay Phillips has got a heck of a run. Oh, the 27 trying to avoid Dustin Jones there. Comes down and could not make it work. Unfortunate for him. Cody Gatsky tried to come down and avoid Dustin Jones there and was unable to do so. As he had already had a car to the inside of him, of Clay Phillips. Hesgard again elects to stay on the outside for this restart. "18 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, as the pace cars should be ducking in next time by. Pace car is in. And there goes Hesgard.
Green flag.
Got a really good jump. I think it's going to be a race for second place. A lot of racing going on back here with Lemon and Pandolf, Cornwett, Mr. Lucky, Ben Izinga. These drivers are battling it out for the top 10. Lucky wanting on the inside of it. The top other three drivers are not letting him go walk away with it. Not going to let him get up there. JP wanting that top 10 here tonight. As a 27, I guess he's serving a black flag. I don't know what's going on with that. If they're actually black flagging drivers for 5 laps, bringing out a yellow within 5 laps of a restart. If they are doing that, that is costing a lot of drivers valuable positions here tonight. close race here for the 2nd through 5th. As Matt Lovett's taking a look on the inside of Larillo. And Lovett did make it. It looked like Larillo's going to try to go for a crossover, though. And he does. Getty Buckner still staying 0.2 of a second in front of Larillo. Bill Edwards making a move up underneath Chris Stouffer. Side Darius Jackson looked like he was trying to do something back there in the back. Bill Edwards does make it around, but Chris Stouffer says, nobody, I am going to try it again and do some battle. I want to hang on to my top 5 position. Stay behind me, he says. Looks like there's getting ready to be a good battle between Mr. Buckner and Larillo. Lovett trying to make his way up into this as well. Interesting. Less than 10 laps to go. Hesgard is trying to walk away again. Larillo can't do anything with Buckner. Looks like our top 3 are kind of stuck in limbo. JP fell out of the top 10. Lucky struggling to try to stay in the top 15. This is going to be the battle, though. The Hesgard is definitely walking away with this. The battle's going to be between Larillo and Buckner here at the end. I think Larillo's just sitting there waiting, biding his time. I know I would be. Just ride, don't use my stuff up till about 2 or 3 to go. Then roll that thing in there really deep. Five laps to go this time by. Larillo trying to make that move early as he gets up underneath Buckner. This will definitely knock Buckner out of the points lead if Larillo is able to pass him. Oh, that was some tight racing right there. They almost door handled each other. Buckner didn't give it up. Larillo's not giving up either. Hang in there, Larillo. 5 laps to go, bud. They're going to come up on this lapper right here. Use him as a pick if you want to get around him. Keep Buckner to the high side. And you'll take over that second position. Oh, you backed out. Gentleman thing there to do. Whoa, they are struggling right there. Larillo got a good advantage that time. Good battling going on. I look for the crossover from Getty, though. May have S2R finishing first and second here tonight. Hesgard all by himself. Getting ready to come across the line for this 1 lap to go. Can really afford to take his time here tonight. Two-second lead. Final lap. It looks like Hesgard is going to be our winner. Getty Buckner, nothing to do with Larillo. All in all, not a bad result here tonight. Top 10, Ryan Hesgard, James Larillo, Getty Buckner, Matt Lovett, Bill Edwards, Christopher, David Lindahl. Lucky did make it into the top 10 in 8th. Mike Lemon 9th, and James Pandolf 10th. As Mr. Buckner is our 3rd place driver, we will go ahead and pull our Mr. Buckner in. Mr. Buckner, got a copy, huh?
Yes, sir, I got a copy. How you doing, David?
I've been better, man, but not a bad job here for you tonight, man. Let me see if I can pull this thing up real quick. Find out where you actually started on 4th and come home in 3rd. You're going to lose the points lead, but not by much. You let Larillo get around you. You didn't get to lead a lap. Walk us through your race, man.
Well, I went to, I came into Texas not very optimistic. I know I said last week in my interview that, I was surprised with the Martinsville win. I was going to come to Texas. This is a place where I thought I could win. But I did notice that when we came and unloaded, it was really, really tight. So I just wasn't really prepared for it. But I finished a lot better than what I thought. I know I had top 5-ish speed, but I was definitely a long run car, and Larillo, got me at the end. I tried to do everything I could to make sure to fend him off, but he ran a great race also. I know Bill ran a great race, and obviously Ryan. just couldn't touch him, man. He came very, very well prepared, and even at the end, on that last stint, you can tell he was doing his homework a little bit, because in 3 and 4 I was much faster than he was, and he moved up to the groove that I was using. And once he did that, man, it was gone, because he had me in 1 and 2. So great race by him. Good, good studying of what I was doing, and great race overall. Just to have a couple cautions, get some green flag pit stops. I know a lot of people enjoyed that.
That's amazing. He doesn't have a spotter, but yet he is able to find out what you're doing and how you're gaining on him and able to compensate for that. Now, that's a race car driver right there.
Yeah, it just boils down to using your mirror, using your windshield. I tried to copy what he was doing in 1 and 2. It just didn't feel good to me. And at Texas, with how easy it is to hit the wall off turn 2, turn 4, the most important thing for me over outright speed was being comfortable, so that you could go 133 laps here without having an incident, which I did. If I try to do what Ryan does, and it takes me out of my element a little bit, it's very, very possible that I end up messing up my, race completely. And
So-
instead of getting a third, I could have got a 10th or something. So it is what it is.
So you finished with a 0X?
Correct. Yep.
So
0X.
The damage on your car come from after race contact?
No, I had 3 seconds. I scraped the wall just a tad on the exit of 3 and 4 during that long green flag run. But it was just a few seconds. It obviously didn't affect me. The only thing that was affecting my speed on the short run was my own right foot. So, good race. It was really fun battling Lorello. I tried to battle him as tight as I could without without us getting involved in an incident. So that was good.
Y'all did a really good job, but y'all were really close there a lot there at the end.
Yeah, I say it each week when you practice with the best. Practicing with Lorello and Ryan and obviously my own teammates, that we can run like that and not blink twice. You know what I mean? Like, it's, for me, that wasn't a white knuckle battle. That was just, another day at the track with these guys up there. So, talk about, being able to put on a show. People people watching are probably like, oh my God, that's so close. That's such a tight battle. And we're like, meh.
Sunday drive.
Whatever.
Sunday drive on a Tuesday night, right?
Whatever.
So you got a Sunday drive on a Tuesday night?
That's right. That's right.
I hear you. Well, shout outs, man. Get them in, get them out. No, you got them.
Yep, I always do. First of all, I got to thank S2R for all the practice that we do together. It's great. As I just mentioned, it's great to practice with these guys. Just a lot of respect between these two top, the two top teams here in the series. SGK, my own team, we had a new driver come to SGK for the Grand National Series. His name's Gary Cronwet. He's an absolute beast behind the wheel. I know tonight he didn't get the greatest finish. I think something there happened on the last lap or something like that. But, we got Mike, we got Gary. Andy's in Europe. I hope he's enjoying his vacation. And, it's just awesome to have a stable of drivers that just know how to get it done every week, no matter what track. I mean, we went to a short track. We've gone to 1.5 miles. We've won a restrictor plate race. I mean, it's crazy, and it's awesome. I'm so lucky to have these guys behind me. I got to thank you, David, for putting on these broadcasts, especially right now with you doing it solo. That is hard. I've done that a couple times, and it is very, very difficult, and that just shows, how good you are at your craft. And lastly, just got to thank everyone who watches. Got to thank all the drivers that come out here each week, dedicated to DRL racing. It's just awesome. And, another top 3 finish, another top 5. Then we move on to next week, which will be interesting.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, again, congratulations on top 3 finish. Thoughts, concerns going into Bristol, the door banging, going to get a black flag every 5 laps.
Yeah, Bristol's going to be interesting. That's another place I think I can go and get a top 5. There's a lot of different grooves you can run. You can run low, you can run high, you can run high to low. I mean, it's going to be all over the place. It is going to be so hard to pass there. It's another tight setup, and in 1 and 2, the car likes to bottom out and slide up the track. It's going to be, it's potentially, could be one of our, not prettiest races of the year, but, it's Bristol, baby. And, I go in there with a little bit more optimism, and look forward to doing battle with the boys.
I bet there's going to be a lot of drivers getting black flags there.
Most likely, because even though it's a short track, it doesn't mean you can't use your talent. You not or you have to use your talent, not your bumper.
I hear you. Well, anyway, congratulations on your top 3 finish, man.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Oh, dropping back down into S2R. Yeah, I'm sure he didn't catch that, but I can't even find SGK. There it is. We're going to go to Mr. Larilio. If he heard that, he would... Oh, come on. I could have swore. There he is. Mr. Larillo. Got a copy, my man?
Gotcha.
Well, as soon as I can have ATVO jump on you, it may not even jump on you. Where'd you start at tonight?
I started 5th, I think.
Well, not too bad. Starting 5th and coming home in the 2nd place finish.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. I really enjoyed the green flag runs, and I was pretty fast for the most of the night. Couldn't get around Getty there to give anything to his guard, but he was fast all night.
Well, y'all did some really tight racing right there at the end. I thought you had him there a couple of times early on, and then I thought you was going to use that car as a pick is what I thought. And then you backed out of it, the gentleman thing to do, and then raced him for it cleanly. I don't know if I'd have made that move.
Yeah, no, I was really concerned about getting wrecked there. With my luck this season, with that lap car coming up, I figured I'd just back out and take it into the next turn. And it worked out. I was trying to back up the corner so I could get a run off the corner and into the straightaway, and that worked for me.
Well, again, not too bad of a job here tonight. What is going on? Walk us through your race, man.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Was able to stay up front all night. Those long green flag runs. I had a pretty good long run car. Short run, I don't think I was the fastest. But just being able to stay up there, it was hard to catch Ryan. I mean, he was a couple tenths faster, and we practiced all week, and that was about the same too. But it was awesome to have good clean racing with Getty, and glad we were able to have some long green flag runs in that race.
Well, again, thoughts and concerns going into Bristol?
No, Bristol's a really good track for me. I'm excited about it. Hopefully we get some long green flag runs there too. Yeah, I think it'll be great. And hopefully S2R shows up there too.
Well, congratulations on your 2nd place finish. Shout outs, man. Get them in, get them out. You got them.
Yeah, thanks to Dynasty Racing League, of course, and everybody for putting on the league and taking care of us. We have a few rough weeks, but glad that this one was a great race. Thanks to you for broadcasting these, and S2R really has been putting in a lot of work and practice, and I'm really glad that it's showing in the race.
Well, again, congratulations going into next week. We'll talk to you hopefully in the top 3 again next week at
Hope
Bristol.
So. See you then.
All right, bud. To move him into SGK because I was going to move Getty Butner into S2R. And we'll go to Mr. Ryan Hesgard. And I think when I'm done with Mr. Hesgard, let's see, where is he at? Yeah, when I'm done with Mr. Hesgard, I'll throw him down in the league committee, and that way he won't be with nobody. Mr. Hesgard, you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, man, I hate to say it, but it was a Hesgard show tonight. Nobody had anything for you up until Mr. Lucky decided that he was going to try to make it a one-stop race. Had we had went free, I think he'd have owned you tonight, bud. I think he had the right strategy, but it didn't quite work out for him. Walk us through your race, though.
Yeah, we got lucky with the qualifying time there. In that 5 minutes that qualifying took, the track temperature had gone up by 10 degrees. So I knew once I seen that it was low, I went. I mean, I probably was one of the first ones out. So credit the weather a little bit to that lap time for qualifying. So that track position definitely helped because after about 10 laps, I mean, in all our practice sessions and races that we did all week, you couldn't. It was pretty hard to pass. So I knew that was going to be important. So we practiced hot lapping a little bit more than usual this week. After last year's race, we kind of had a good idea of what the car was going to do already. So we knew we'd be all right in the long run. But, man, I don't know what to say. Yeah, with that pit strategy, I don't know if you can make it on 2 stops, and I've seen races where I've watched guys stretch it to that halfway mark, and I've seen it, just turn around and bite them. And I think, on new tires, especially now at the end of the race, it cooled way down. I was back in the 29s for those first 15 laps. I think if Lucky stays out, I think that's going to be a close one.
It was. I thought it was going to be a real close one. It had to stay green.
I think, we were planning on pitting around lap 90 to give ourselves that 40 laps to catch up. I don't know, and unfortunately for him, it didn't work out that way. So, overall, fantastic race compared to last week. That's for sure. What a turnaround. I was disappointed after last week and did not represent myself well, and probably one of my worst races ever. So, I told my mom, I said, I'm going to go win Texas. And
Unreal.
And that's what we did. So we're happy.
We're going to wrap this up as we just went black screen. I just lost the everything, ATVO. So shout outs, get them in, get them out, my man.
Yeah, big thanks to you guys in the booth. Thanks to the admins of DRL. And just to keep it short, thanks to SGK for all the practice sessions. And as always, thank you to the S2R guys. Without them, we're not even playing iRacing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude our broadcast. Unfortunately, we are black screen. Not sure what just happened. ATVO locked up and then black screen. So, anyway, congratulations, Mr. Hesgard, and we look forward to seeing you back here next week at Bristol. That's going to conclude our broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Good night and God bless.